Hi, my name is Spencer. I'm a graduate student at the University of Arizona, and I'm about to finish my master's degree in higher education. Um, I moved out here a couple years ago from the Washington, D.C. area. I'm the second child of two, born to my father, a black man, and my mother, first generation American. Both of her parents are here from Italy. Now, when I was younger, when I was growing up, I remember I used to hear the word gay a lot. I used to hear the word queer a lot. I used to hear people call each other fags all the time, and I didn't really know what that meant. And it was interesting because I consider myself a heterosexual man, mostly heterosexual man, but that's something that I've started to come to terms with now. I'm very quick to tell everybody that I have an enormous crush on Will Smith. And recently I've acquired a crush on Boris Kojo. So it was really interesting for me experiencing my entire life as a heterosexual man, hearing these words directed towards me and to others. I remember being about 5 or 6, and that was the first time that I heard the word gay. And I went home and I said to my mom, you know, once I realized what it was, I said to my mom, "What would you do if I was gay?" And she looked me dead in the eyes, and tears started welling up. And she said it'd be one of the hardest things that I could ever have somebody tell me. And from a very young age, that was the message that I always received. That there's only one way to live your life. There's only one way to be a person, a man, and that's who I had to be. As I got a little bit older, I'd be playing basketball on the basketball court of my elementary school or in my middle school, and I would always hear all the time, somebody turn to the other person and be like, "Oh, you missed that basket, you fucking faggot." And I'd be like, I don't really know what that means. So I started to really think about what it meant. The dictionary, now granted, I'm 23, but I do use a real dictionary, not just the internet. The dictionary defines gay as a typical sexual orientation of one man to another man. And it defines queer as weird, strange, and odd. And one of the things that I started to reflect on when I first got here, was that one did not define the other, and neither defined both. So it was really interesting when, as a younger person, I started to hear these words directed towards other people like that, and I had to think about what that meant to me. Being raised in a heteronormative society, of course, it was just something that I kind of went with. And then as I got older, I remember starting to hear all these different things, and it started to be strange. I remember that it was okay for me to play Pretty Pretty Princess with my sister, and kick her butt, by the way. But it wasn't okay that when I was in college, and one of my really good friends had her first son, she handed me her son to hold, and I said, you know what, I could see myself being a father one day, having a kid one day, and her saying to me, "Is there something you want to tell me?" I don't know, what does that mean? She said, "You're not trying to tell me you're gay or something, are you?" I thought that was really interesting, that the fact that I saw myself with children or being able to nurture another was something that made her uncomfortable. So I started to explore my options, and I went to college. I did my undergraduate at West Virginia University, and which is different from the state of Virginia. There's two of them, Virginia and West Virginia. and one of the things that West Virginia is not known for is its rousing diversity. So I got there, right? So I got there, and of course I would experience these things really different, because being from the DC area, I was used to going to school with many people from Puerto Rico, people from Colombia, other black people like myself, mixed race. But when I got to West Virginia, a lot of that wasn't really super present. So I remember, again, I would be playing sports, I would be in my residence hall, I would be in different places all around campus, and I'd be hearing these words and hearing these things and not really knowing what they meant. So when I came out here to the University of Arizona, one of the things I started to explore was really, what is it that I believed? And I knew that these experiences were ones that were really important to me, ones that I had been reflecting on and thinking about. And I had started to do work related to diversity, to promote that diversity and that justice of things that it didn't feel right to me when people said these words to one another. And when I asked people, why is it that you're using this as an insult, they would say to me, because it is. And so I started to reflect on that. And when I started my program here, I had the wonderful opportunity of starting to really discuss what that meant and what type of society we were living in that really othered those types of people. People that were living a life that was true to them. I, last semester, had the amazing opportunity of working at the LGBTQ Affairs Office at the University of Arizona, being lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and allied or queer questioning, sorry. And being able to intern with that group of students and those groups of professionals was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Because for the first time I got to really talk to people who were so accepting of everything, of everybody, and where those experiences were taking people throughout their lives. When we started this experience, when I started my internship there, we had the opportunity to meet with people and discuss who it is that we were, and discuss where our background laid, blue? I don't know.
You're taking out an English major.
Right. I said higher education, I didn't say I was good at education. And they started to tell their stories, the happy times, the sad times, the tough times, the triumphs, and it really started to touch me and really started to I guess even empower me even more to really want to be my full self. To really be able to tell the staff that I supervise in the residence halls that, yes, I identify as a heterosexual man, and yes, I have a fiance, but you know, if Boris Kodjoe or Will Smith comes on TV, I might take a couple of looks, you know, and that's fine. So getting to hear these people talk about what it is that they were experiencing, these really made me feel like it was my turn to start telling my story, and really made me feel like it was my turn to start coming to terms with who I am. And that's why I'm able to stand in front of you today and say that I'm Spenser, and whatever that means is who I want it to be, and whoever I am is who I am. And hearing these stories of people talking about the types of experiences that they had, both positive and negative, when coming out or anything like that, really made me want to tell my story. And I think that this is a really good start. I think this is where I want to be able to tell people who I am and how I live and all those types of things.